Hi, my name is Julie and this is Kada. I wanted to leave a review on Scottish Pines because it was such an outstanding time that I had. I got Kada about a month before I started the 8-week training with Scottish Pine in person. And Kada was rehomed. She's 3 years old and didn't have any formal training, so I was a little concerned of how to do it. I had a border collie before, but I got him when he was a puppy, so I started doing training with him at 6 months old, plus I also used treats. So when we got Kada, I asked my groomer if she knew of a good reputable dog trainer, and she suggested Scottish Pines. So I got online and I looked at her website and they had some really good reviews, and that was one of the reasons I decided to go with Scottish Pines. Plus, they also had an off-leash training. Her training was about being off-leash. And with my border collie, even though he was well-trained, I didn't trust him off-leash. One of the things that he would do is if he saw a person or another dog, he was gone, and there was no calling him back. It was a waste of my breath. So, needless to say, I didn't like him off-leash very often because I didn't trust him. And if he was off-leash, then I was kind of on high alert watching to see if there's something that could cause him to run, and get away from me, because it scared me. So with this training, we eventually get to being off-leash, which was awesome. But I wanted to share with you some of the things that really I found exceptional with Sarah's training. Is the way that she has it set up is it's like she walks you through by holding your hand. The first class that I went to, she gave the explanations and then she sent us home with our assignment. She said that we could find the assignment all written down so we didn't have to take notes or anything. Plus, she followed up with videos. So before every training, Sarah would send out what we were going to be learning that week. So I had a chance to view the videos. And then as soon as I got there, always on time, Sarah starts the training. With our class, we had 30 other people and dogs, which was, you thought it was going to be chaos, but it was a really good experience. I learned how to handle Kada around other dogs. I learned to handle Kada in situations when there was a lot of things happening. So it built my confidence. Some of the things that I got out of the training was I learned how to praise. I used praise instead of treats. And I learned when to praise, the right time to praise, and how to praise, like I said. The other thing that I learned was persistence, to be repetition. We all know that is how we learn something new, is through repetition. That's how we reprogram our brain is repetition. So the next thing I learned was correction, when to correct my dog, and when I had the right to correct my dog. I remember the first time that Sarah made the comment, you have to do this with your dog 100 times because you have to you have to earn the right to correct your dog. Unless you do it with them and worked with them 100 times, you don't have the right to correct your dog. Right at that moment, I fell in love with Sarah. I thought, wow, that is so fair, so fair. So I learned the correction, as I mentioned before. The other thing was the consistency, is you have to be consistent with the training, even after the training's done. I had an experience where we went on vacation and I wasn't able to work with Kada for about 3 days. And I don't think this is what caused it, but when we went out in a field and I had her off leash, I'd call her and she wouldn't come. So I'd have to go get her and bring her to me like I learned in the class. But what I did is I went back to the videos because I have access to all the videos and found the video that talked about how we call our dogs and what we do to get our dog's attention. And so I started doing that again. And within a couple of days, she was right back where she was before. I also had her off leash one time, just a couple of days ago and took her to the same field, and I saw some dogs and people walking, so I turned around and went the other way. So as I was walking along, we saw some other people with a dog, and Kada took off running towards the dog. And I called her back, and I said, Kada, and she kept going, and I said, Kada, come. And she turned around and ran back to me. I was able to get the leash on, and then their dog came running over to us, and I thought, oh boy. But because I had Kada on the leash, I was in control of the situation, and the dog left. And I thought, yes. This program gave me confidence. I have the confidence to handle Kada in situations that I didn't have the confidence before. So I guess that kind of summarizes the things that I got out of the class, but the one thing that I loved the most was how it bonded me and Kada together. You know, and it was really neat to be able to see the other people with their dogs making advancements, just being able to see the growth in them and see the growth in the dogs. So it was a fabulous bonding experience with Kada and some of the people in the class. So